Over the past 90 days, I've lost 20 pounds, transforming my body from this to this. And the best part is, I never felt hungry, I didn't do any cardio, and even had the occasional beer or free. So today I'm going to be sharing the 5 fat loss tips you've never heard before, so you can get into the shape of your life. But before we get started, of course we can't forget the fundamentals when it comes to a successful diet. Number 1, calorie deficit, whether it's moving more, eating less, or a combination of the two. Number 2, eating high protein, high volume foods to help keep you satiated. Number 3, keeping your training intensity high to help prevent muscle loss. Number 4, tracking your food and tracking your weight. What gets measured gets managed. And the most important step of them all, consistency. But are you eating the right way? Now tip number 1 is going to be conscious eating. Now this is where you eat food consciously. This means no Netflix, no phone, no distractions, just you and your food. The first thing you'll notice when you eat consciously is just how long it takes to eat your food. I find when I sit and eat consciously that I actually almost get bored of eating and I can't wait for it to get over so I can move on and do something more exciting with my life. Tip number 2 is full body training. I'd never tried a full body training split until recently when I reviewed the Push app by Joe Delaney. And I now personally think it's the best split for when you are dieting. As you're only training each body part once per session, it enables you to keep your intensity high as well as mitigate fatigue, which is needed to protect against muscle loss. The only part of your training that should change when you're dieting is the volume. You need to keep your intensity high enough to signal to your muscles to stick around. However, people usually get this muddled up. They seem to lower the intensity, increase the volume in the hope that this will get them toned. I find full body workouts perfect to keep my intensity high while on a diet. Tip number 3 is diet breaks. Now a diet break isn't just forgetting your diet for a week and eating whatever you want. A diet break is returning your calories to maintenance for a week. So if you're dieting on 2,000 calories, bump up your calories to 2,500 for the week. This helps to reboot your metabolism, get rid of hunger cravings, and help you stick to the diet long term. I suggest using your calories wisely and eating wholesome and nutritious food, leaving you full and satiated. However, if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, stick around to the end of the video as I have a bonus tip that will help you out. The word to have in mind is damage control. Of course, enjoy yourself, have the beer, have some cake, but if you're serious about reaching your dieting goals, going all in for a week is going to set you back to the start of your diet or even further. Number 4 is the biggest enhancer you can have as a natural lifter, and that is going to be sleep. Now I've said this many times on this channel before, but there are 4 pillars when it comes to overall health and well-being. Being active, minimizing stress, eating nutritious food, and optimizing your sleep. Poor sleep hygiene inadvertently impacts the other pillars. For example, your performance in the gym, your overall mood, as well as your body's ability to recover. Worst of all, poor sleep hygiene increases your body's ghrelin, also known as the hunger hormone. This makes you feel a lot more hungry and makes it a lot harder to stick to your diet. The 3 fundamentals I've found for a good night's sleep are getting up and going to bed at the same time, only using the bedroom for sleeping, reading, or extracurricular activities, as well as limiting your caffeine intake and no caffeine after midday. Sleep is something I've struggled with personally myself, so it may take you a little bit of time to optimize your own sleep schedule. Once you have your sleep locked in, it will make all areas of your life so much better. Now I said at the start of the video that I didn't do any cardio during this diet, and that's true unless you count walking as cardio, and I don't, so it is. And number 5 is walking. Now you may think cardio is better than walking for fat loss, as it takes less time and it burns more calories. However, cardio also causes high stress on the body, which impedes your body's ability to recover. It's also boring, and I find it increases your appetite. Now you're probably sat there thinking, well, walking's boring, and you're not wrong. So here are some ways to make walking more enjoyable. Number 1, walk and talk. Every time you have to make a phone call, go for a walk. 2, pod and plod. Similar to walk and talk, but listen to a podcast. Number 3, scroll and stroll. Well, you get the point. If there's something you can do whilst walking, do it walking. Another tactic is to go for a walk every time you finish a meal. This not only helps aid with digestion, but also gives you a little trigger to remind you to go for a walk. Now it's time to finish the video with some quick fire bonus tips. If you're someone with a sweet tooth and protein ice cream just won't cut it, 100 calorie snack could be the answer. This is exactly what it sounds like. Buy those multi-packs of snacks, whichever you fancy, and make sure they're around 100 calories. I personally like to put chocolate in the freezer, and these 100 calorie bars can really hit the spot when you're deep into a diet. Just make sure to eat consciously, otherwise you might end up eating the whole bag. Now tip number 2 is extremely obvious, but one I don't think people generally follow, and that is don't buy food that you don't want to eat while you're dieting. My personal kryptonite is cereal, so when I'm dieting I don't have any cereal in the house, because I know once I see those Cocoa Pops, drops, it's game over for me. And finally, probably the most important step when it comes to any part of your fitness journey, and that is most people fail at their weight loss goals as they want results immediately. They drop their calories, increase cardio, and yeah, they get results for the initial couple of weeks. However, you're soon going to plateau, rebound, and end up probably worse off than when you started. However, here's some real motivation for you. The longer you stay consistent, eat clean, live a happy and healthy lifestyle, at a certain point, it will stop becoming difficult and it'll just be how you live your life. So that's going to be it for another video. If you've enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this video about 5 things I wish I knew before I started lifting. Or how about that time I cured my insomnia? Anyway, that's going to be it for now. See you in the next one.